How do you, as a small business owner, let go of control over parts of the business that don't really require input? In my experience, the most successful founders and small business owners and entrepreneurs want to be in the driver's seat. But growth requires achieving outcomes through others. In this way, I often say entrepreneurship is a team sport. That isn't to say that there aren't successful entrepreneurs that work on their own. Sometimes they're called solopreneurs, but oftentimes they're really self-employed, and they maybe have used automation, they maybe have used systems or even contractors to allow them to get to a certain level. But in time, those who want to grow entrepreneurial businesses and who are successful doing so, bring others into the organization and really work to achieve through them. Letting go in this way is as much a decision and a state of mind as it is a set of skills or techniques, though it can be both. Where it really starts, though, is making a decision. Are you going to go big and scale up, or are you going to stay small and be a solo entrepreneur or self-employed? If your answer is scale up, you need to get out of the business. You may re-enter later as an employee, and at that point, you can re-enter in the place where you most want to be. But you need to get to a place where you can work on the business instead of working in the business, or at least mostly on the business rather than in the business. And this can be very, very difficult, especially if you spend a lot of time developing, building, and expanding a business. Once you've made that decision, then you can really focus on how you will make this transition so that you're in a position where you can let go of parts of the organization and parts of the process that don't require your input. One of the most important parts of this is building an operating system. This is finding talented people and bringing them into the organization, but also establishing a clear vision and creating systems, processes, and standard operating procedures, and making sure that the people that are stepping into those are operating them properly so that the business is running the way that you want it to. There's a number of reasons for this. First, you need to make sure that you are delivering the value that you've promised to your customers in a consistent way that delights them so that they're going to keep buying from you and tell others as well. And you want that system to be self-sustaining so that even new sales are coming in without a lot of input from you. And customers are happy because of the value that they're getting over time. And they're referring others so the business can grow from a revenue perspective. But as you bring more people in, you want to make sure that they're delivering that same value promise in the way that you would have if you were doing it yourself. So in this way, you want to find the right people, you want to get them into the right roles, and you really want to implement this operating system based on your vision, the systems, processes, and procedures that you want people to follow, and then a measurement process to make sure that those are working the exact same way and the way that they're intended every time. From there, you can look for ways to enhance, maybe even reduce, simplify, or make more efficient the whole process so that you're getting exactly what your customers need and the value to them and the experience that they're looking for, but you're also able to do it profitably. And so that enhancement process can be an ongoing start, stop, continue exercise to say, what are we not doing now that we need to do to make this better? What are we doing now that's not providing a lot of value or it's costly, too costly that we could stop? And what are the things that are working well that we want to keep doing? Once you've done this, then get out of the way. It's time to step back and really let the system run. And then you can think about where you want to re-enter the organization. You may enter as an employee, as the manager, leader, overseer, so that executive level person, whether the president, CEO, whatever title is appropriate for the organization, but you can then take on that role, but doing it within the confines of the role and the measurements that you've put in place for that role. That's going to make it easier later to install someone else in that role. And the business is already going to be used to paying you what should be a market rate for that space and you doing the work that's expected there. And so that will lead to an easier transition. A book that I often recommend to not just startup founders who are just getting started, but even companies that have been in business for a longer period of time, but founders who are thinking, I want to really work on my business rather than in it, or I want to step out of my business and turn it over to professional management, or even sell the business. And the book that I often recommend is Built to Sell. And this book is really about preparing a business to sell without the owner or the CEO ending up in what's called an earnout, where they have to continue to work for a long period of time after the business is sold to make sure that it can be transitioned to another owner. And so really creating the kind of business that is ready to sell from day one means that that owner is free to work on the business, knowing that the day-to-day is solid and being able to step away when the timing's right to do there. So even if you stay for a lifetime, it will free you up to run the business and work on the business rather than being bogged down by the day-to-day of running the business. If you have questions about any of the topics that we talked about in this video, or if you'd like to get more information, please make a comment below. Don't wait to get your business started. In fact, don't go to sleep tonight until you've launched your business. Get started.